Hey guys, tired of feeling stuck in your dating life and striking out in the dating game? You're not alone. Maybe you just need some good coaching. Welcome to Just Ask Her, the no BS podcast for real dating advice straight from a woman's point of view. Dating expert Gracie Pleschourt and her co-host, certified life coach Tracy Pleschourt, are here to give you the play-by-play on how to attract more women you're interested in. So, let's take back control of your dating life. This is Just Ask Her.
Welcome back to episode 11.
Whoop, whoop. Your favorite number.
Yes, it is. All right. Anything interesting happen this past week? You've been working super hard on your upcoming webinar.
Yeah, this is the first time that this is being announced, actually. I haven't talked about it anywhere. I haven't announced it anywhere. But I have been working very hard behind the scenes to put something really good together for all of you. This Valentine's Day, I am hosting a free live masterclass, and I could not be more excited about it. I have been grinding behind the scenes to get this amazing class put together for you guys, because I've been single on Valentine's Day before, and I know how much that sucks, being single on Valentine's Day and just feeling like the weight of all of the romance and the couples around you and all of the things that, like, Valentine's Day is supposed to be a day of like love and like showing your appreciation for your significant other or the people that you love around you. And when you're single, it just kind of becomes either a day that you try not to pay attention to, or a day that you just dread because it reminds you of not having someone. And so if that's you, if you are single or you're going to be single this Valentine's Day and you don't have any dinner plans, come hang out with me on my free masterclass. Like I said, I have put everything into making this an amazing class. The theme of it is how to attract your dream girl. I thought, what better of a topic than let's finally make this the year that you never have to spend a Valentine's Day alone again. So that's the goal. I am so excited. Like I said, this is the first time that I'm announcing this, and the registration for the class opens on Friday, February 8th. So you can be watching my social medias. I will link it to this episode once the registration is open. So be on the lookout for that. I seriously cannot wait to hang out with you guys on Valentine's Day and to actually help you make progress in your dating life and to make this the last Valentine's Day that you're single. So come hang out.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
I love that you're doing this. And I've gotten a sneak peek. It is top notch. I mean, it's totally free. And I would guess that most men would be willing to pay for what it is that you're going to share with them.
I'd pay for this. I mean, like, I know what it's like to sit on Valentine's Day single, and I know like the feelings that brings. And so that was the goal. I mean, like this, yeah, I think that this is so valuable. I think that you should absolutely treat it like you paid a lot of money for it. I'm giving it to you for free because I want to help as many of you as possible, and I want to make it accessible to all of you. So take advantage, like take full advantage, because this is going to be a masterclass like you've never been on before. And so, yeah, come ready.
Yep. All right. Sign up opens this Friday.
Yeah, February 8th. Be looking out for it on my socials.
All right. And today we have 2 submissions that we want to help. And then you've got a couple polls, right?
Yeah.
Those are always fun.
We've got some good polls at the end.
Okay. So let's jump into it. The first one is all about navigating feelings for a close friend at work. Hi, Tracy and Gracie. First off, thank you both so much for everything you do. I really appreciate it. I have a crush on a girl I work with, and I'm trying to figure out the best way to handle it. We've been friends for over 3 years, ever since we started working together. When we met, she was in a long-term relationship, so I immediately put her in the friend zone, and I assume she did the same with me. Over the years, she's been a great friend, and I've even gone to her for dating advice. In the last year and a half, we've gotten a lot closer. We've shared a lot of vulnerable conversations, and she genuinely seems to care about my well-being. She even picks up my meds for me from the pharmacy. We both take the same ones, and puts in more effort to stay close to me than my other friends do. We're super comfortable with each other, always joking around, and I love spending time with her. Here's the complication. She recently went through a really messy breakup after a 6.5-year relationship, and she's still in a tough emotional place. I've been there to support her, and that's when I started realizing I have feelings for her. She's admitted that she's all over the place emotionally, which I can see. She even asked me to set her up with a friend, but hasn't responded to him in over a week. I really enjoy being around her, and work feels better when she's there. I'd love to express my feelings at the right time, but I don't want to lose our friendship if she doesn't feel the same way. Do you think it's worth saying something? And if so, when and how would be the right way to approach it? Thanks so much.
So, okay. There's a few things that have really stood out to me in your submission. And I completely understand how easy it is to kind of develop these feelings for somebody, especially somebody that you work so closely with, you see every day, and you guys can relate on things that a lot of other people outside of your job can't relate on. And so it's actually like, it's super common for feelings like this to develop. I think that you need to be careful in how you approach this. And I think that I would be really kind of gauging some of the more of the signs that you don't necessarily have quite yet. It's like, there's two things obviously that you need to consider, right? She just got out of this 6.5-year relationship. And so she might not even be in a place right now or for a while where she would even really be able to consider a relationship, let alone a relationship with one of her closest friends, it sounds like. Mm-hmm. Right. And so it's like, it's two things stacked on top of each other here. Like, you sound like one of her biggest support systems, like she is for you. And it sounds like you are somebody she can confide in, somebody she can get support from. And so you want to be careful, because she's now in a very vulnerable state with this relationship just ending, that one, she might just need the friendship. Like, she might just need that in her life right now. And whether she has had feelings for you in the past or has feelings for you now or could see something with you in the future, I just think that the timing of this is going to make it really difficult. And so especially if you can tell she's really struggling, right? She's not going out with other people. She's not even going out with the people that you have set her up with. Like, it's pretty clear that she's not in a place right now where that would make sense. And my feelings on this is like the same across the board, no matter what the situation is like, if the timing isn't right, you shouldn't wait around for somebody until the timing is right. Like, I still think that you should be exploring your options and going out on dates and things like that. And if the opportunity presents itself or you feel like she's in a better place, that's when I would consider how to navigate asking her out or expressing your feelings to her. Before that, I just think that it's going to be really complicated, and I feel like you'd be setting yourself up for a really difficult situation, regardless of where her feelings for you are right now.
Yeah. And I think the answer to your question in the context of, should I tell her? I think the answer is yes, but timing is everything. So like Gracie said, give her some space right now. And I think from your standpoint, giving her a little bit of space so that you aren't always thought of as that emotional crutch. I mean, I think it's great to support her, but you don't want to fall into that role of the guy who's always there, but never the one that she considers romantically.
Yeah.
So if your feelings,
that's a good point.
if your feelings have changed and you want to have a different relationship with her, then I think you also have to present in a different way. So I think there's going to be that fine line of supporting her, but yet giving her a little bit of space. Let her feel what it's like to miss you. Like, she may already see you as more than a friend, but hasn't fully realized it because you're always available. Mm-hmm. And so I think
you're always available in a friendship context.
Right. Yeah. So I think the when and how is, when she seems more emotionally stable, like, I think you can gauge that by, if she's no longer bringing up her ex all of the time, she's making some moves in her life. She's not asking for setups.
Yeah.
I think, those are all going to be clear signs to you. If your friendship has kept its closeness and she continues making an effort to stay connected to you, I think that's a good sign. If you start to see if there's any shifts in how she's interacting with you, like if she starts getting kind of flirty or wanting more one-on-one time or asking about your dating life in a way that maybe feels a little bit different, I think those are all really good signs that she is kind of progressing down her healing journey.
Yeah. And that you could definitely pursue it at that point.
Yeah.
I think that it would be amiss to skip over the fact that she asked you to set her up with somebody else. Like, that's usually only happens if she's comfortable enough with you that she only sees you as a friend. And again, like, that's been your relationship, right? Like, she's been in a relationship with somebody else. And so of course she's only seen you as a friend, right? But it will take time to build more of a romantic connection between the two of you, rather than like one day she sees you as a friend and then magically the next day she sees you as somebody she's interested in. It usually doesn't work that way. And right now, her asking you to set her up with one of your friends is a pretty clear indication that she only sees you as a friend right now.
Yeah.
Right.
And should that time come and you decide that you are going to let her know how you feel, and if she doesn't feel the same way, make sure you continue to prioritize your own emotional well-being.
Yeah.
That is absolutely critical. Like Gracie said at the beginning of this, you need to continue to move forward. Do not put your life on hold, waiting for her to process her feelings over her ex. It seems like you are a super thoughtful, solid guy. And so no matter how this plays out, you're going to be in a great position to find the right connection, whether that's with her or someone else, if you keep prioritizing your well-being. And that's, it's tricky. I know how easy it is to get obsessive about this one person, but given the advice that you've just heard, we hope that you take away the strong advice and encouragement to prioritize your own well-being and give her the space while you continue to move forward.
Well, yeah. And like prioritize your own dating life. Like if you're wanting to date and go out on dates and explore romantic relationships, then do that. Just don't do it with her yet. Right. Mm-hmm. Like there needs to be some steps in between where you build more of this romantic rapport with her. And you build more of like a flirty, playful setting between the two of you guys. But until then, like explore your options, explore what's out there. Don't wait around for somebody who isn't who doesn't see you that way just yet, or who isn't ready to be in a relationship like that just yet. Right.
Yeah. And I love how he said, you know, he actually enjoys work so much more when she's there.
Yeah.
Like, lean into that. Like, continue to feel the gratitude and the love for your work, you know, because she adds to that dynamic. Like, really question what's amazing about that. Like, so many people really dread going to work. You have a place where you actually love being because of the people you're surrounded by. You know, appreciate her for that. And kind of ride that wave for a while. I mean, you obviously have a lot going for you, but stay in that place of how much you appreciate the people that you get to surround yourself with while at work, and stay in a place of gratitude. That's really going to drive better behaviors and better outcomes for you, versus staying focused on the things that don't feel as good, like her asking you to set her up with one of your buddies, or her giving you mixed signals, or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that this is a tricky situation to navigate. I mean, like, there are so many dynamics that make it tricky, like it being a coworker, like the 3-year relationship that you've built, and to stack on top of all of that, this 6.5-year relationship that just ended for her. So you have to be mindful of each of those things, but you can absolutely go about it. Like, if you want to pursue this, you can have that in mind in how you show up around her moving forward, and trying to make more like playful and flirty situations for the two of you. It doesn't have to be anything like super forward or crazy. Like, it could be things at work where you're a fun presence to be around for her. Like, that's kind of the soft place that you want to land right now, is like, I wouldn't go like pursue her like right out of the gate now that she's out of this relationship. I would like show her why you would be a great partner, show her why she would want to spend more time with you in maybe a more romantic way. Be the guy that would be like the breath of fresh air to be with compared to this ex of hers, right? Like, that's probably where I would set my sights for right now, is just like really building that foundation so that she sees it, so that she's the one that's like, like maybe I do have feelings for this guy, right? It's not you chasing this experience. It's not you trying to like convince her to want to be with you. Like, show up and show her why she would want to be with a guy like you, and see where it goes from there.
Great advice. All right. Well, we hope this helps. We're rooting for you, and make sure to circle back and let us know how it goes.
Yeah. Okay. So for the second submission, this is titled Struggling with Reconnecting with an Ex. Hey, Gracie and Tracy, I've been going through a lot emotionally and mentally for the past 4 months after reconnecting with a long-term ex. We were on and off for about 3 years, and while I've made mistakes in the past, ones I wish I could take back, she wasn't perfect either. We always managed to work through things together, and I could usually rely on her coming back until things finally ended last October. The final breakup happened while I was on vacation in Nashville. She got upset with how I was treating her while I was out drinking, and she also felt like I didn't give her enough emotional support after she had gotten into a minor car accident on the second day I was there. She admitted she was on her phone when she hit someone, so I told her to be more careful and to not drive distracted. Unfortunately, she didn't take that well. After that, we stopped talking for a bit, but met up in November to discuss things. I thought it went well. We hugged, kissed, and told each other that we loved one another before parting ways. A couple of weeks later, we saw each other again at a concert, and the same thing happened. But in early December, she reached out to say she needed total no contact. That was really hard for me to handle, and it took me a while to accept it. Eventually, she even removed me from Snapchat, though we still followed each other elsewhere and occasionally watched each other's stories. We went almost a full month without talking before she randomly texted me in early January to catch up. We ended up talking for about 5 hours, and a couple of days later, she re-added me on Snapchat. 2 weeks ago, we met up for dinner, and I went over to her place afterwards. Things got physical. We saw each other again 2 days later, and the same thing happened. But here's the issue. She still doesn't fully know what she wants. I also found out that she's been on Tinder. She told me she hasn't done anything with anyone else, and I have to take her word for it. We've been talking almost every day, but we haven't made any plans to see each other again. I guess the big question is, do you think she'll actually come back for good if I show her the best version of myself? Or am I just wasting my time and energy on something that's not going to work out in the end? Thanks for your time. I really appreciate it. Anonymous.
Whew. Well, this was kind of an emotional roller coaster. Just reading it. But I very much appreciate how open you are about it. I think it's clear that you have a deep history with this woman and you've put a lot of heart into trying to figure things out. So I think we can help you break this down and get you a little bit more clarity. You're asking if she'll come back for good if you show her the best version of yourself. But I think the better question is this actually the right relationship for you?
Yeah.
It sounds like you two have this pattern of breaking up and getting back together. This has happened for years. The reconnection probably feels good in the moment, but then it leads to this uncertainty and no real resolution or no real progress. It seems like it just keeps ending in like heartbreak. So if you keep repeating the same cycle, what's actually going to change?
Right. You're likely down a path of a lot of the same. Like pursuing this further as it stands right now, it's likely going to end in a lot of the same. You're likely going to keep having this push and pull, like you want each other for a little bit, then somebody decides they don't anymore, and then you break it off, and then somebody reaches out and you both get all excited again because there are qualities that you both like about each other, but there's still the things that were never resolved or the things that were never there in the first place that are going to keep this from working. And I always say this to clients, like exes are probably the easiest relationships to get in. Like getting back with an ex is probably the easiest in terms of like what's accessible to you, in terms of like convenience, but they are one of the hardest things to actually like make work in the long term. And they're one of the hardest relationships to navigate emotionally when you have this dynamic going on constantly, like for years, right? Like this is a long pattern that's been drawn out. And unless something significant has changed in both of your lives, this is likely going to keep happening, right? Like unless you guys have fully worked out whatever the reason was in the first place, and you might not have even known. Like you might not have even known the real reason why. And that's also what makes this so difficult, right? Like it's really hard to actually make this work because usually people aren't willing to make the changes that are necessary. And it's not because like, that's not a bad thing. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're like, those are changes that you're supposed to make. It's just, those are the changes that would have to be made in order for this to work. And so I think your point exactly, like, is this something that you really want?
Yeah. I think there's red flags about her all over the place. I think if she was all in, she wouldn't go back to Tinder. She wouldn't be so unsure. She wouldn't be keeping things in this like gray area and like
Well,
playing
she's
with
trying
you
to have her
emotionally.
cake and eat it too. Like that's what's going on right now. And and I'm not saying that she's a bad person or that she's like horrible and you should never be with her. Like, I don't think that at all. I think that this is like very real emotions, especially when you have ties like this to a relationship that lasted for so long. Like, of course, like it feels good to
Be wanted.
and to be in comfort. Like this is comfort. You two are comfort to each other at some level. But at what point is the comfort
At your own expense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of signs that she's not in the place right now that would indicate she's ready to get back together and that she will be ready to get back together with you like fully anytime soon.
Yeah. It's funny because I'm like sitting here looking back at his questions and can I win her back by being my best self? Oh my God. Mama bear in me. It's like win her back. Like the truth is being the best version of yourself isn't about proving anything to her.
Yeah.
Come on. Like
Come on.
It's about showing up for yourself. If she only stays when you're constantly like proving your worth to her, that is a shaky foundation. Like you don't want a relationship like that. No. So the right person is going to want you for who you are, not because you're constantly like auditioning for the role of perfect boyfriend. Yeah. So it kills me to hear you ask that question. Also, you know, are you wasting your time? I'm not going to say you're wasting your time because I think every experience teaches you something, but I will say that if you keep investing energy into someone who's unsure, you're delaying your own peace and your own happiness.
And likely the inevitable.
Yeah. So I think the better question is what would happen if you pulled back and stopped chasing clarity from her? Like if she genuinely wants to be with you, she'll step up. If she continues to keep things in limbo, you've got your answer.
Right. And again, I know it's really confusing when she is the one reaching out and checking in and seeing how things are and maybe even saying like, hey, let's go grab dinner or whatever. Right. I get how that's confusing, but that her checking in or her reaching out does not equate to her wanting to be in a relationship with you. No. That does not mean the same thing.
She's having knee-jerk reactions.
Yeah. And
to put it nicely.
Yeah. Like it's not to say that she doesn't miss you, but she probably misses just the company more than anything. And yeah, it's just like setting yourself up for a really shitty situation when this is just the constant loop that you're going through. And this is not just you. This is anybody ever that has ever tried to get back with their ex. This is what happens.
That you're holding on because of history, comfort, and hope.
Yeah,
period.
Exactly.
Okay. So just to recap, stop trying to convince her. She's either going to see your value or she won't. And if she's still confused, that's her issue to work on, not yours to fix. We always give this advice, and I love this advice. Match her energy. If she's not making plans, don't be the one initiating. Let her show you what she really wants. And then I think most importantly, think about what you really want. Are you just doing this for comfort? Right.
Like, are you just going back to it because it seems like the easier option right now?
Yeah. And do you want to be with somebody who's so unsure? Or do you want
their cars?
Hopefully she hit somebody inside a car.
No, I'm not bagging her for that. I'm a horrible driver. So
yeah. But I think about Nashville and I think about how many people are walking on the streets of Nashville. So it didn't sound good, but
no.
Right. Okay. So I don't know. Hopefully you're getting the gist. You don't need to keep proving yourself to someone who isn't fully choosing you. You deserve to be with someone who's all in, just like you are.
Yeah. Yeah. And also don't like, I know that you said at the very beginning, I've done things that I regret in my past. And you said that she had too, right? I think that's another piece of this is like, especially if you really have worked on yourself and you really have done the work to like better yourself in those areas that you felt like you maybe weren't your best before. Sometimes it's easy for us to tell ourselves this narrative of like, I want to show that I'm better,
right?
That I've improved,
or I deserve to be treated this way,
or that I deserve to be treated this way.
Like you have these punitive thoughts, like this is part of your ongoing punishment.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Because of whatever happened in the early stages or whatever, and when you guys were dating before. Yeah. It's like, you absolutely can grow and take accountability for the things that you maybe made mistakes on in the past, but learning from those mistakes is growing from those mistakes and not putting yourself back in situations that would bring those mistakes back up. Right. And so I just feel like be careful about the narrative you're telling yourself when it comes to this situation, because you don't owe anything to this relationship. The things that happened. And if there's things that you're not proud of, it's okay. You know that, and you've worked on it, or you still are working on it. And like, that's something that you should be very proud of, but it's not something that you need to prove to yourself or this relationship or her.
Yep. Amen. All right.
Yeah.
Got some polls for us?
Yeah. Yeah. So this week I asked you guys on social media a fun poll that I hear come up from time to time. Like I get this question from time to time about what guys should do in this situation. And so the poll asked, on a first date, do you offer to pick her up or do you just meet her there? And the answers were, yes, I usually offer, or no, I always meet there for the first date.
So it was 50-50. I mean, you gave them two choices.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, I love like the old fashioned chivalry.
I knew you were going to say this.
Picking a woman up, opening up the car door, holding the entrance doors open. Like, to me, that's just so considerate and thoughtful that
it's so romantic.
It's not even romantic. I just think it's just kind.
Yeah.
Like, it's very thoughtful, and I appreciate that in any person, not even just men, just people who are, thoughtful.
Okay. So now keep that thought.
Okay.
Now let me pose this question for you. If I had met a guy online that I had never met before, and we were going out on a first date, and he had offered to pick me up from my place, would you want me to have him come out to my place for the very first time meeting him? Or would you want me to meet him there? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I see where this is going. And from a safety standpoint, I guess I was kind of overlooking the whole first date thing, mm-hmm. And so it may be just as thoughtful to meet somebody there, recognizing that for safety reasons, that's how the woman is going to feel most comfortable.
Yeah.
So, I guess I wasn't really thinking about the first date aspect of it. So.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, if you haven't been in this situation, or you haven't been in this situation in a while, like, things have changed a little bit. Online dating is very much a prominent thing, right? We're not necessarily meeting people that are already, or going out on first dates with a bunch of people that are already in our network. So I think that it's actually a good question, because I get it from that end too. I think it's so respectful and it's so adorable to offer to come pick her up. And I think that after the first date, absolutely do that. Absolutely. It is very gentlemanlike. And I think that women who are like serious about finding their person and like serious about meeting people and just like serious about dating, they will really, really appreciate the effort in something like that. And so, yeah, absolutely offer to pick her up. But for a first date, if you guys have never met, if like this is your first time meeting each other, I always recommend just meet there. Just meet there. Don't worry about picking her up, because for both of your sakes, actually, right? Like if you don't know her, you do not want to be driving however long out of the way to go commute to pick her up and then get 5 minutes into the car ride out to your dinner and find out that she's a complete dud and she's really hard to have conversations with. Like that would suck. So that's for one, that's for your sake. And for her sake, if she's not somebody that's comfortable with having the guy that she's going on a first date with see where she lives, like come out to her place and pick her up for the first time, like that can make for kind of an awkward situation. And like maybe she doesn't want to hurt your feelings, but that could make her uncomfortable, right? And so to just avoid altogether, unless you guys know each other, like unless you were set up by people or you guys have known each other for a while or you know of each other and you're like pretty sure things are going to be fine, then it's really, really thoughtful to ask and offer to pick her up. But if you don't know each other, if this is your first time meeting, always just meet them at the date spot. And then there's opportunities for you to be thoughtful and to do all of the things like grab the door for her and
pull out the chair.
Yeah. There's lots of ways where you can be thoughtful like that and be more traditional in that way. And then for future dates, if you had an awesome time and you want to go out with her again, great opportunity to offer to pick her up for the second date.
Great question.
So I didn't even read what the poll responses were. So 47% of you said, yes, I usually offer to pick her up for a first date. And 53% of you said that you always meet there for the first date. So it's a pretty like close divide. And again, I mean, like that's not, I didn't say in this anywhere, like if you guys met online, is this something you do? Right. So I think that number.
Complete stranger. Right.
Yeah. So like, I think that number is probably a little bit smaller too, depending on the context. Yeah. But it's just good to know. I think that women generally feel more comfortable meeting you for a first date. And it's not like if you say, let's meet here for the date or whatever, it's not necessarily like, she's not gonna be like, well, he didn't offer to pick me up for a first date. Right. Like it's not going to be a red flag to her. I think that these days women are more concerned about safety than anything else.
Yep. Awesome. What else you got?
So the other question I asked on social media for you guys was, what are the biggest red flags on a girl's dating profile? Because we always talk about your guys' dating profiles. And so I wanted to know, what are the things that you see on a girl's dating profile and you're immediately like, no, not happening. Swipe left. So I actually left this one open for you guys to give responses on. I didn't do a poll. I left it open because I just really wanted to see what you guys would have to say. Yeah. So some of the answers were hilarious. And some of them were like, it's funny how many of them were so common to what women think, because I thought they would be like very different things than what women think are red flags on dating profiles. I also think like I see a lot of these things on men's dating profiles. And so maybe that's why I thought like maybe they're just not aware of these things. But I think it's good to see that you guys have these same expectations for girls. Yeah. As they do for you.
So is it like being in a big group shot surrounded by men?
Yeah, that was a top answer, was like other men on the profile or too many men on the profile or only has guy friends. That's a big one. What other ones do you think there were?
Like the only one that's coming to mind.
Really? Okay, well, when I read them, you'll be like, oh yeah. There was a lot around like the party girl or the wild, like girl that's always in the club or girl that has a drink in every single picture. That's one of the big red flags that I've seen a bunch of times on this.
A sparkler in one hand and a bottle in the other.
Yeah, she's I don't think they're saying she's one of the what are those called?
Is it VIP or bottle service?
Bottle service. Yeah. I don't think they're referring to the bottle service girls. No.
It's just the ultimate vision that comes to mind when I think of party girl.
Bottle service girls. That's their job. Okay, yeah.
It has been a while since I've been the party girl.
They're just talking about girls that like it looks like all they do is party. Like this one says lots of party photos, holding drinks. Better to avoid those. That's what that one said.
Stripper pole in the.
Okay. God. No, I didn't see stripper pole anywhere on here. So that's good. They're not seeing that very often on their pages, I guess. Another one.
Lots of cats.
Cats. This one I'm reading right now has a cat. You guys, that's funny. We're dog people.
I was just gonna say, but a wiener dog. Oh my God.
Yeah. No, I actually think I had that as a prompt on my profile at one point. Like my biggest red flag is, and it was like, I have a yippy dog. Because girls get roasted for that, like having like little yippy dogs. And I get why, like, but I don't care. Meatball's my world.
I wouldn't say yours is yippy.
Kinda.
When I think of yippy dog, yeah, he's got, yeah. Okay.
You think of like ankle biters.
Yes.
Yeah. He's not really like that, but he's like annoying. He barks a lot at everybody. Yeah. So
he's noisy.
Yeah. Yeah. But I love him. But anyways, another one that I thought was interesting was, a lot of guys said like being overly political.
Wow.
But when I think about it, I think for men being overly political is going one direction, and for women being overly political is going the other direction.
Yeah. What about being like materialistic, like showing like...
Yeah, that was an answer on here a couple times. Yeah.
Like being surrounded by all the Louis Vuittons and... Yeah,
there were some answers like that. Another big one.
Sitting in a Tesla doing a...
Whatever. I don't own anything Louis Vuitton.
You do your reels in a Tesla.
Yeah, I don't own anything Louis Vuitton. Really, I'm materialistic. Are you kidding? That is rich coming from you. Another one is listing Instagram or Venmo handles.
Oh my God.
So
yeah. Well, not Instagram, but
no,
Venmo.
Instagram is, you're right about Instagram. And I think this is across the board. I tell all my clients, this is for anybody listening, if you have your Instagram handle anywhere on your profile, take it off right now.
Why?
Because it signals that you're more interested in a follow than landing a date or actually starting up conversations. People do that when they know they're hot shit, and so they like get followers purely based off of their looks, and so they will put it in their dating profiles to get more people to follow them.
You don't think it's a genuine act of here's another way to get to know me?
I would say 99.9% of the time, no, because most of the apps you can link your social media profiles. So you can link your social media profiles without it giving your handle. So you're not giving, like, people can't go look you up just because you linked it to your profile, but they can see the photos that you've posted.
Oh.
So you can actually like get to know you and like get to see more about you
without following them. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the Venmo is like a no-brainer.
Venmo, if you see anything about asking for money or like whatever, asking for gifts or
GoFundMe.
Yeah, GoFundMe. Like it's scam. It's a scam. First of all, like she's probably not even a she, first of all. So don't ever fall for that ever. But also, like, if she is a real person, like, why would you ever want to go on a date with somebody that is like flat out asking for money?
Yeah. I am right there with you, but we definitely know what happens, right? We've had countless write-ins about that.
Well, and the Venmo thing is only women. Like, girls don't see that on dating apps. Like, they don't see like guys putting their Venmo. Like, that is a girl thing. And it's because most of them are scams, and because people know that they can like prey on people who are single, and they assume to be lonely enough to just like give them money for their attention. And so,
okay, I got another one.
Okay.
Provocative pictures.
Yeah, that's one of them on here. That would have been one of the ones that I would have put in a poll, because I've heard that before. Like, I know that guys are very, it's not like a top answer on here, because I think guys have mixed opinions on it. Like, some of them are like that's how they can tell they're attracted to you. And some of them are like, no, I don't want a girl that like that shows off to other guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is a big one. Another one is a no bio, not having anything in their bio. That, and this one specifically says no bio except for an @ for their Instagram. So that is a common answer on here, is having your Instagram in there. But yeah, having no bio, I think having low effort on your profile in general, like, is a red flag. Like, if she has hardly any photos, she doesn't have all 6 photos, for one. Girls take millions of photos of themselves. So if she doesn't have all 6, huge red flag, huge. If all of her photos are in one spot, they're all selfies, they don't show her in different spots, red flag. Like,
she's in the same exact outfit.
Yeah, in the same exact outfit. Right. Red flag.
With the same backdrop.
Yeah. Yeah. Another one is like overly edited photos, overly filtered, which is definitely more a girl thing for sure. Yeah. For guys, it's now using like AI is a thing. And then I know, like, I understand why people do it. Like, some of the AI stuff looks really real, but there's always a hint of it that doesn't. And it's like a missing finger. Yeah, a missing finger, I guess.
Or a toe where there's supposed to be a finger.
Yeah. Just don't use AI for your photos ever, for your dating profile. I don't care how realistic they make this look. Don't do it. Because if there is any hint that you have a fake photo on there, it's going to tell her, she's going to think that you're not a real person, for one. And obviously, like, a lot of times that's really harmless. Like, you're just trying to like touch up your photos and make them look better. So I get it. I understand where it's coming from, but just don't do it. Like, it's not worth you missing opportunities for what you think is a better looking photo, because women usually can tell.
Yeah. I would also say another red flag is, like, she says like she wants to be like a homemaker or
like a housewife. Yeah. There were quite a few guys that said that on here. Or like, she says what she wants from a guy, like saying like, I want a guy that's going to take care of me, or that's going to take me on trips or whatever. Yeah.
And I would guess that the opposite is true. Another red flag is the woman who has like a dissertation of all of her credentials and degrees and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like that happens less often, but yeah, I guess I could see that. Another big one is like, and this is across the board, but like being negative, like saying you should not go out with me if. That is like the biggest setup of a prompt ever. I don't know why apps have that as an option. Don't use it. Do not use it. Nobody wants to go out with a negative Nelly. So just don't use it. And I know that women use it a lot. I know that's a big thing, is like, there are women that are negative that are like, don't swipe right if. And it's like, okay, like, I won't. Like, yeah, that's a big one. This one says a picture in her profile with her ex, even if he's blacked out. It was just so funny. I thought that women would never do that they would just know better than to do that. That's so stupid. Why would but I see it a lot on guys' profiles. And so I was like, I just thought that maybe guys thought that like women would want to see, that social proof, like women would want to see that other women want you. I know for sure guys don't want to see that. Guys do not want to see that, like you with other guys. So that actually really surprises me that men are seeing that on women's profiles. Yeah, there's a lot about alcohol and like centering your profile around alcohol and drinking, and there were a lot of them like that. Astrology, that was one that came up a few times. I feel like that is a niche. It's a niche type of girl that is like big into astrology, and you either are fine with it or you're not.
Yeah, it's a good filter for you guys.
Yeah. Oh, this one's annoying. A height requirement. If women are putting that in their profile,
bye-bye.
Yeah, I saw this.
Another filter for you.
Yeah, I saw this a couple of times. Like one of them was like, if she has a prompt that says only swipe right if you're above 6 foot or something. Gross.
Yeah.
Like that should
She's gonna be on that dating app a while.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, that's annoying that girls put that up there. This one says holding a fish she caught.
I almost said that because I was trying to think of what some of the turnoffs from a woman's perspective looking at men's profiles. And even though for me, obviously I'm married to a hunter and a fisherman and an outdoorsman. And so that has never bothered me. But I remember when I worked in corporate, I remember women that I worked with, coworkers, having a very strong opinion to pictures that like I had shown them of dad's fish or dad's deer.
No, that was dead deer. You're not telling the exact story.
Right. Well, I mean, he's not going to be standing next to a live deer.
That's not the point. You're saying that women were judging you for having pictures of dad's manulated deer.
Manulated? What does that mean?
I don't know what that word is.
Mangled? It's not even mangled. It's just a dead deer.
Yeah, a deer with a bullet hole in it.
I don't love seeing that either.
Fish is not the same thing.
Well, it's usually dead.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing.
I was going to say like, because I think some people like escalate that to like animal cruelty, you know. I do think so. And so
no, I think they're like, that's a big one for like, I see that on guys' profiles. They'll like poke fun at that, saying like, no, you're not going to find any ab pictures or pictures of me holding a fish here. Like things like that. Like they'll poke fun at it because that's something that like there's been rhetoric about like not having fish photos on your dating profile ever. I actually think what it is that not having an entire profile of you holding fish. Like one photo is fine unless it's like a disgusting photo of like this fish like manulated. I don't know what that word is, but I know it's a word.
Manulated?
No, it's not manulated.
Mangled?
No. I can't think of what it is, but it's something like that.
Butchered?
No, it starts with an M. It sounds like that. I can't think of what it is. But anyway,
messed up.
Oh my God. No, I can't think of what it is. I don't know. I'm going to get roasted for that. No, I've seen photos of guys like holding huge fish where like they're covered in the fish's blood, like head to toe covered in this fish's blood. That's disgusting. No girl wants to see that. But like
that would have to be a damn big fish.
Yes, it is.
Huh. Okay.
I've seen, yes.
So it looks like a murder scene.
Exactly.
And they're holding up a fish.
Yes, exactly.
Like a little Sunny.
No. I'm saying like one photo of you holding a fish is not the end of the world. It's not going to like turn women off. If your entire profile is you holding fish, obviously like she doesn't like fishing like you like fishing. It's the same thing about like not having all pictures of you in your truck or just photos of your truck in general. And you're not even in the photo. Like
how many pictures did you have with your dog?
One. Exactly. Because I know my audience, because I know that just because I'm obsessed with meatball doesn't mean that everybody else who doesn't know me is going to be obsessed with meatball. Know your audience. That's like rule number one of having your dating profile. Know who it is that you're trying to attract. Unless you're trying to attract other men who love to fish, maybe don't make a profile all of you holding fish. Like that's, I think, what it is. It's more that than like the one fish picture itself. Like, I don't think it's like...
Okay, so why are these guys or
that's
this
what I was saying.
Guy saying that it's offensive or a red flag for her
that's
to be
what I'm
holding?
Saying. I don't know if he was like poking fun because that's such like a big rhetoric.
I see.
Like women don't like seeing or like don't have fish pictures in your profile.
Yeah.
Or if he like actually means that. I think it's more that he's poking fun.
Gotcha.
At the issue, but yeah, I was like, what? I don't get that, but I think it is more that he was like poking fun at it.
Yeah. Well, that was a super fun poll. I love it.
Yeah. No, it was fun looking at your guys' answers. That's why I wanted to do it not as a poll. I wanted you guys to be able to write in because I knew that there was going to be things that I didn't think of.
Yeah. And she showed me, was that last night that you were showing me the answers? We were sitting at a basketball game.
Yeah.
And you were just like scrolling. There were so many answers.
hundreds and hundreds of answers that you guys gave me.
So thank you so much. Keep it coming. Yeah. If you have a suggestion for a great poll, please let us know. And also please rate and review this podcast. Share it with your friends. We are here to help. We are a part of your team. We want you to think of us as an extension of your team, and we want to help more guys change their dating life. So the call to action is just ask her, whether you're just asking us for advice and coaching, or you get the confidence to ask the gal of your dreams out. We're here rooting you on. So until next time, take care.
Thanks for listening to Just Ask Her. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Don't forget to rate and review us, and be sure to follow Gracie on TikTok and Instagram at @datingwithgracie. Thanks again for listening.